Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I rise on a point of order on Standing Orders 16 and 17, which state, every member wishing to speak will rise in his or her place, and when two or more members rise to speak, the Speaker will call on the member who, in their opinion, rose first. Now, Mr. Speaker, today and other days, I have risen towards the end of question period to be recognized. Several times very clearly, particularly today, before another member has risen to speak. Now, I recognize, Mr. Speaker, that it is a convention of the House to use lists to determine the order of question period, but there is no rule that states it must be so. In House of Commons Procedure and Practice, page 505, it states that the Speaker is under no obligation to use such lists, and in a ruling at the Federal House of Commons in 2013, Speaker Scheer noted that the Chair's authority to decide who is recognized to speak is indisputable and has not been trumped by the use of lists. According to page 317 of Procedure and Practice, it is the responsibility of the Speaker to act as a guardian of the rights and privileges of members and of the House as an institution. Since, as an independent member, I'm not involved in House Leaders' meetings, I can't advocate to increase my number of questions, and therefore it falls to the Speaker to make these decisions. It is my understanding, as per page 498 of Parliamentary Procedure, that the role of question period is to allow members the opportunity to hold the government to account. Now, currently, not all members in this House are given equal opportunities to perform this role. Official opposition members get approximately 1.7 questions per week each. Alberta Party members get approximately 2 questions per week each. But independent members, Mr. Speaker, only get 1 question each per week. Now, I do recognize that backbench members of the government don't get that same opportunity, but I think if you look at the role of question period as holding the government to account, it is fair that they get fewer questions. And also in some parliaments in Canada, backbench government members don't get questions at all. And I'd also like to point out, particularly today, Mr. Speaker, that the official opposition was not going according to the list. The official leader of the opposition stood up when he felt it suited him. They messed around a little bit towards the end, I could tell, because I was able to stand up so soon before them, they weren't entirely sure what's going on, Mr. Speaker. And so I don't think it's entirely fair. Also, I think it's fair to point out that nearly all of the questions from the official opposition today, Mr. Speaker, were the same question. They were the same question over and over and over again, and the government gave the same answer over and over and over again. And so that's not really a particularly good use of question period in my mind, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member, I think I've heard the case you're making. I'm trying to determine if it's an explanation on decisions I've made, or is it with respect to a specific standing order?
The specific standing order, Mr. Speaker, is Standing Order 16 and 17. So I'm challenging the use of lists as the way that we've decided to do things in question period.
Thank you, Lynn.